lecture, followed by these three concepts wherein we discussed about finding the information, evaluating the information, and then processing the information. Now, in today's class, we are going to know about the data collection part in detail because this is very, very important. And most of you had a query related to quantitative, qualitative, how to collect the information, how to gather the information, how to find what the information is good, bad, relevant, irrelevant. So we are going to talk about data collection part in detail today. So before I enter into this concept of data collection, I want you to remember two words: primary, secondary. When I say primary, that means first hand information. When I say secondary, that is through some sources. For example, I want you to give me my contact number. Do you know Neeru's contact number? Quickly in the chat box. Do you know what is my mobile number? Quickly in the chat box. Yes. If you know yes, type yes. If you don't know my mobile number, write no. All right. Now you will see that there are certain students who are saying yes and there are certain students who are saying no. Now the person who is having my contact number, how many of you had taken the contact number from me directly? Did you take the contact number by having a word with me, by contacting me directly? If you did a direct communication or did you contact me directly? If yes, then write Y in the chat box. And if you did not take the number from me, write N in the chat box. Now you will see that everybody is writing N, isn't it? Because you did not take my contact number from me. There are certain people who don't have my contact number, point one. There are others who are having my contact number, but they did not take it from me. Now, if you are collecting any information directly from that person, it will be considered as primary. Primary, primary sources. Whenever we talk about taking, gathering, collecting information directly from the people, it is called as primary. Now, the friends of yours who do not have my contact number, instead of calling me, they can take it even from the other friends. Yes, possible. If it is possible, write P in the chat box so that I want to know whether is it possible to collect my contact number from your other friends. Yes, of course, it is possible. So you are going to gather or you are going to share the contact number of mine with your other friends. Are you again doing it directly from me? No, you are not taking it directly from me. If you take it directly from me, it is called as primary. But if you are taking the information from some other person, when you gather the information from some other person, then it is called as secondary. All right, very good, Abhishek. Thanks for writing that particular word there. So I hope everybody could understand what is primary, what is secondary. First hand information. When we get the first hand information, what do we identify by the word first hand information? When we are getting the information, when we are gaining the information directly from the people. Say, for example, you want to know whether your father is going to buy a new mobile phone for you or not. When you go directly and you inquire from your father, Papa, are you going to buy a new mobile phone for me? This is a primary question, and your answer to your question shared by your father would be a primary answer. But in case you're scared of talking to your father, and then you ask your mother to do the needful, what are you doing? You are taking a secondary way. All right, dear? Yes, Abhishek. So first hand information that we get directly from the resources is called as primary. If we are collecting the information from other sources through other information material or from other portals, then it is called as secondary. All right. How many of you know about Naukri.com? How many of you have heard about this? Naukri.com. Most of you must have heard about Naukri.com. monstersjob.com, shinejob.com, Indeed. There are so many. Now, the company wherein you're going to work is not Naukri, but on a Naukri. Through Naukri, you will come to know about the different different job the job openings which are there available in the different companies, isn't it? Yeah. So that is again a part of secondary source. So please remember, like for example, if I talk about ISM, you did not come to ISM. What you did, you visited the website. You have come to know about ISM through your family, through your friends, through some other colleague, or through some other teachers or the people who know about ISM, isn't it? So without coming to ISM, still you took an admission, took your admission in ISM. So what did you do? You have taken admission through secondary sources. So is this concept clear with everyone? If you all could understand primary and secondary, write PS in the chat box. Please quickly in the chat box PS if you could understand about what is primary and what is secondary. Thank you for writing all those PS in the chat box, and I'm really happy to see that you all are quite attentive and listening to me very attentively. Now, when we talk about primary sources, as you can see on the slide that is shared, now the person whosoever is willing to collect data from primary sources, what are they going to do? They will conduct either interview, they will draft a questionnaire or share it with others, or they will observe. Let me explain you from questionnaire onwards, and I'm talking about this particular segment. All right. How many of you have received survey-based question? How many of you have visited to malls? How many of you have recently purchased mobile phone? How many of you have recently purchased bikes, scooters, scooty, something like that? And when you go to the shop for your first service, they will give you, isn't it? They'll give you a feedback form and they'll say, are you happy with our services or not? Are you happy with the product or not? So they give you certain questions, isn't it? There are common questions. There are certain set of questions which will be asked, which will be shared with all the people, isn't it dear? Now, what are they doing? They are writing a questionnaire. So please remember, what do we understand by questionnaire? Set of questions. Some set of questions that are asked to the public, to general people, in order to collect feedback. Now, it may be possible that the people collect feedback directly from the people. Say, for example, after using your mobile phone for a month, if you receive a message and you have shared the information, it was a collection of the questionnaire directly from the person. But many a times people, they don't have that much of time. So what do? They email you the questionnaire. All right. So questionnaires can be used in order to collect the primary sources. You can either collect it from one to one person. Say, for example, you are there standing in the mall, and then the person whosoever was there in the shop, he'll say that, sir, if you are happy with our products, can you please help me in answering, or can you please fill up this questionnaire? All right. So could you all understand what questionnaire is? Same kind of questions will be asked to all the customers and clients. The customers and clients, they will share their opinion, and then based on the opinion that is received, the information is collected. I hope everybody could understand what is questionnaire. Now, emailed questionnaires are those where the persons are not there directly, but you have their email IDs. All right. So instead of talking to you, instead of asking questions to you, they may email it on your email address, and then people may respond to that particular email. That is the place where we will be using mailed questionnaire. Mailed questionnaire. So please remember, if anybody asks what is a questionnaire, as a student of management, you should all remember, what do we identify by the word questionnaire? Set of questions. Are the questions same? Yes, there will be same questions that will be asked to all the customers and clients. All right. Can we collect the data directly? Yes, we can collect the data directly. But in case if we have shortage of time and we do not know who the person is, but if we have their email address, We can even collect it by mailing to them, by sending an email to the people so that they can respond to our mail. How many of you have watched YouTube? Do you watch different videos on YouTube? Yes or no? If you watch different videos, how many of you have filled the survey that is conducted by YouTube? Do you fill the survey? Which advertisement you like to watch? Why do you do, like, if you say you don't like watching certain videos or even the advertisement, why you don't like it, they'll ask you about your opinion, right dear? So what are they doing? They are creating a questionnaire, mailing it, or collecting the data directly from the people who are watching the YouTube videos. So that is part of questionnaire. If you could understand what questionnaire is, quickly in the chat box, Q. Now please remember, questionnaire will have same kind of question. All right. It could be collected directly from the person, or you can email it to their email address so that they can take time and respond to your questions. All right. Now moving to the next part, that is interviewing. Now this interview will be conducted in two ways: structured, unstructured. Now structured will have same questions that you can ask to everyone. How many of you have seen people, particularly the news reporters, going to different districts of Bihar in the month of October and November? October last week, November first week, before 10th November, before the date of result and the announcement of the result of the election. How many of you have watched uh, certain reporters going to different people and asking whom do they think will become the chief minister of Bihar? Have you seen any reporter walking to the different people and they're asking these questions, right? So if you have observed it, they were asking same kind of questions to everyone, isn't it? Whom do you think will become the chief minister of Bihar? So the people, they had their opinion and then they answered to those questions. Same kind of questions when asked to different people will be structured. I repeat, in structured interview, interviewer, the one who asks the interview, is called as interviewer. Interviewer will ask same kind of question. Yes, it was related to exit poll. The journalists were asking to the different people. They were trying to collect public opinion so that we can come to know who is going to be the chief minister of Bihar, isn't it? Now, unstructured, when we are going to ask different questions, that would be unstructured. All right. Now, let me see how many of you are good enough in asking questions. I want you all to write three questions which you can ask to all the students of BBA and BCA. I want you all to think and write three questions which can be asked to anyone. It could be a student of BBA or BCA or BA, BSc, IT, BTech, or even the students who are pursuing MBBS. I want you all to think and write three questions. I want all the three questions in one single go, Ritik. Very good. What is your name? Can be one. But I want all the three questions in one go, which is going to be the part of structure. Take your time. Take a half a minute time to write. Yes, I'm waiting for your responses. Arav is the one who had written all the three questions. Why did you choose BBA? Now, don't you think, Arav, that this question will be asked only to BBA? Whereas my question was, uh, write three common questions that you can ask to any student, any student. It could be of BBA, BCA, anyone. All right. So these all are particular questions. When you are asking questions related to BBA, then it is again a particular question. Now, Dheeraj, I like the question that Dheeraj Kumar had asked, which talks about what is your name, what is your hobby, and what's your father's name. Very good, Dheeraj. Yes, these are questions that can be asked to anyone, isn't it, dear? What have you chosen? It's Swati Kumari. The word that you have used, the WH family word that you have used is what, which is wrong. It should be why. Why have you chosen this college? All right. What are the scopes of your course? Wonderful. Yes, Harsh. Yes, this could be the next question that you can ask. All your three questions are absolutely correct. Like, what is your name? Why have you persuaded this particular course? And what are the scopes that you are having with this particular course? Excellent. Atul Kumar Pandey rightly stated here, your name, your study, and then your course. All these three are structured questions. All right, Betaji? Now, when we talk about unstructured could be like the questions that are asked by Amrita. What is your opinion about BBA? The one who are pursuing BBA, Amrita is going to ask question, what is your opinion about BBA? Isn't it, dear? Now, Amrita, if you are talking to the student of BCA, immediately you will change this question, isn't it? You will say, what is your opinion about BCA? If you are talking to the student who is following or who is pursuing LLB, you will say, what is your opinion about LLB? Isn't it, dear? So what are you doing? You're changing the question based on the knowledge and information of the interview. Such kind of questions which are going to be changed, which can be changed time and again, will called as unstructured. Is this clear with everyone? Like say for example, Abhijit says, what is your goal after BBA? Now, if you're talking to BBA student, Abhijit, you will say, what is your goal after BBA? But if you're talking to the student who is pursuing BCA, you will immediately change the question. Isn't it better? What is your goal after BCA? Similarly, if you are asking questions like, are you satisfied with your faculty members? Of course, Abhishek, this is a structured question which can be asked to all the students. So, Arav, as you have stated here, why did you choose BBA? Why did you choose ISM Patna? What will you do after BBA? These three questions are unstructured. Why will we call it as unstructured? If we are mixing up all the students, then it will be unstructured. But in case if we are asking same questions to all the students of BBA, first year, second year, third year, same these three questions will be called as structured. So could you all understand what is the difference between structured and unstructured better? Is this concept clear? So please remember, structured will have same set of questions. Unstructured will change from person to person. Say for example, I am an interviewer. I am asking one structured question. Introduce yourself. After asking this question, I may change different questions. Say for example, to Zia, I am asking something else. To Abhishek, I'm asking something else. To Abhijit, I'm asking something else. To Dheeraj, I'm asking something else. So there can be different questions that I may ask to the different candidates. Could you all understand? That is called as unstructured. So could you identify the difference between questionnaire and interview? Interview, the questions would be structured or unstructured. In structured, we ask same set of questions, but here we are interviewing. In questionnaire, we give the questions and we don't wait for their responses. In interview, we try to collect the responses. This is the difference between questionnaire and interview. All right. In questionnaire, you just give the paper to them. They will fill and they'll give back you to the filled information in the question. But when we are talking about interview here, it is face-to-face interaction. Could be video-based, could be Skype round, could be telephonic, or could be one-on-one. All right. So please remember, here the people will see all the questions. In questionnaire, people will read all the different questions. But when we are talking about interview, the person who is answering, he will not know whether it is going to be structured or unstructured. Even what are the set of questions that you are going to ask, he or she will not be knowing, all right? Or whatever the unstructured questions that you are going to ask will not be known to the person. So please remember, questions and unstructured questions. Now the questionnaire, very true dear, when you are answering the question paper in board exams, they are structured, isn't it? Because same set of questions, even if you are talking about JEE exams, joint entrance test, or even if you have applied for any of the entrance test or exams, you will see same questions will be asked to all the applicants. It is questionnaire. Why we will call it as questionnaire, dear? Because everybody is having all the set of questions. Dheeraj, please remember, if it is the set of questions that you are receiving, the question booklet that you receive is questionnaire. All right, better. But when we talk about interview, in interview, person will get question and then answer, question and then answer between interviewer and interviewee. All right, dear. So keep this in your mind that when we talk about questionnaire, question papers are an example of questionnaire. But when we talk about interviews, the interviewer will have all these questions in his mind, whether it is structured or unstructured. These questions will be there in the mind of the interviewer. And based on the questions that are asked, interviewee, the person, the applicant, the candidate, he or she will respond to the person. Clear with everyone? So interview is a process that happens one-on-one, could be in group, could be in panel between interviewer, interviewee, between interviewer and interviewee. Whereas when we talk about the questionnaire, in questionnaire, all the questions will be shared with the person whosoever is going to answer those particular questions. All right, clear with everyone? Could you understand I and Q? I is for interview and Q is for questionnaire. If you could understand both the concepts and if you have no doubts, quickly write IQ. If you have any doubts, don't hesitate in asking the question. I'll appreciate if you can ask the questions, dear. So I see lot many IQs in the chat box. And I think there are no doubts. So let us move ahead with the third part, the third way in which we can gather the primary information. That is through observation. Now, when we talk about observation, observations are done in two ways, either by participating or by non-participating. How many of you have attended Independence Day celebration? How many of you have attended Independence Day celebration in your school or in your intermediate college? Most of you, isn't it, dear? Now, when you have attended, how many of you have participated? Say, for example, there is a dance competition or there is a program in which the skit is being played or performed. There is a drama which is performed. So you must have, yes, Dheeraj, you have participated in parade. Good to know about that, dear. Now, there are students, Aditya Anand, he says, he participated in singing, Zia in speech competition. Very good, Amrita. So there are different students who have participated in different competitions, isn't it? Ismail had participated in dancing competition, Harsh Raj speech competition, Amrita both in speech and dancing. So Harsh again into debate. So this good to know about you all these dear. Manjeet is a sports person. He likes participating in different sports activities. Now, many a times it happens that you have interest in debate, you have interest in speech, you have interest in dance, you have interest in singing, you have interest in sports, but due to some or the other reason, you did not participate. Did it happen anytime? Because of your ill health, because of some or the other reason, you did not participate in any of the event or activities that were held, right? Now, you can observe the things even without participating, isn't it? It's not necessary that every time in all the events you are directly participating. Sometimes we observe even by not participating in that particular event. Say, for example, when we talk about the annual celebrations that happens in our schools and colleges, isn't it? All 1,000 students will not get an opportunity to participate, right or wrong? Do you agree or disagree? Every student whosoever is studying in the school, will he or she get an opportunity to participate in all the different activities that are held, that are organized by school in annual day celebration? No. So only few will get the opportunity. But can everyone participate in annual celebration? Yes, they all can participate, isn't it? So please remember, observations are also one way of gathering information. Say, for example, you are attending today's class. You are listening to my speech or this content that I'm trying to explain and deliver to you. There are 38 students who are attending this particular class. Now, when I talk about 38, I see that there are certain students like Sudhanshu Ranjan. I did not get any chat information from him. Similarly, when I talk about Sumit, not a single information I have received from Sumit. So you need to remember that though they are attending classes, though they are listening, though they are part of this particular class, but they are inactive. Inactive in what? Inactive in sharing the information. Now, will we say that are they the participants or non-participant? When I talk about Sudhanshu Ranjan, when I'm talking about Shubham, will I call them as participants of the activity or non-participant of the activity? Quickly in the chat box. There are two friends of yours who are there attending this particular class, but not a single chat is done by them. Do you call them as participants or non-participants? See, Sudhanshu, this is a stupid excuse which I often get from you all when you say, ma'am, no internet connection. Dear, if there is poor internet connectivity, then you cannot be the part of this class. You are there participating, but through chat box, you did not share any information, right? So accept it that yes, you are not participating. Nothing wrong. If you are not liking to chat, if you are not willing to participate, no harm. But yes, you are not going to be active listener then. All right. So yes, you should always remember. Very good. Dheeraj, very rightly stated there. Just like the players who are playing the cricket. Now, the person who is playing the cricket, they all are the participants, but the spectators are non-participants. The same kind of enthusiasm. Today onwards at 12:30, you all know the first T20 match between Australia and India will be played. You will be exactly the same enthusiastic person when you see Virat Kohli hitting a six, or even there's another chap who hit lot many sixes these days. What is his name? I'm forgetting his name. Can you please help me in identifying? Some Dhawan. I don't remember his first name. What Dhawan? Okay, Hardik is again playing well. Maxwell is again playing well. Shikhar Dhawan. Thank you. Thanks for giving me that name. Thank you. So you all watch playing cricket, isn't it? You all like watching cricket. So when you see someone hitting six, you feel quite excited, isn't it? Though you are not participating, but still the level of enthusiasm, the level of excitement is exactly the same. That is the way you are going to gather information through observation. So I hope everybody could understand. Observations is something where you watch, where you see people. When you are watching people, when you are seeing people, it is not necessary that every time you participate. Sometimes even without participating or being a non-participant, you can share the information. Thank you, Sumit, for giving those two great personalities named Hardik Pandey and Ravindra Jadeja, who are playing excellently well. Even in the last, not the last match, but prior to that, Hardik Pandey and Ravindra Jadeja, they played fantastic inning, isn't it? I appreciate their efforts, and we all are proud of them. So keep this in your mind whenever we are talking about primary sources. When we talk about primary sources, observation, interview, questionnaire are the three ways in which we can collect the information. Quickly in the chat box to sum up what the things related to primary sources, I want you all to remember these three words. Whenever somebody says, can we collect information? Can we collect the data? Yes, we can collect the data. In what ways can we collect the data? Primary, secondary. All right, first thing that you should remember, what are the two ways in which the data could be collected? Primary and secondary. When we talk about primary, what are the three subcategories in which we can collect the data? Questionnaire, interview, observation. Questionnaires, interview, observation. When we talk about questionnaire, either we can send it to the participants through email, or we can collect by asking the question. When we talk about interviews, the question that the interviewer is asking could be structured or unstructured. When we talk about observation, it could be by participating or by non-participating. Thank you, Shubham Arman. Thanks, Sakib. Thanks, Abhishek, for writing those statements here. Because trust me, the one who are writing it at least one time, they can remember this. At least they can keep this in their memory for 1 or 2 years. So that is going to help you a lot. Very good if you are writing it, even in the chat box if you are sharing the information. Excellent. I appreciate. The next part is secondary. We are going to finish it off by today, this secondary part. That's the end of today's class. All right. We are not going to proceed ahead further. So when we are talking about secondary data, what I want you to remember is secondary data is collected from sources, from other sources. It could be from the autobiography that was written by the other personality. Say, for example, how many of you have read the autobiography written by Mahatma Gandhi ji? Did you watch KBC yesterday? And if you have watched KBC yesterday, in one of the questions, they have mentioned the name of his book, right? So in case if you haven't, no problem. But yes, have you heard about at least the autobiography? Have you at least heard? Do you know that, yes, Mr. Gandhi has written his autobiography, right? My Experiments with Truth is the name of his autobiography, wherein you can come to know about Mahatma Gandhi ji and his activities, his great job that he had done during his lifetime. Now, did we meet anytime Mahatma Gandhi ji? No. But can we come to know about what he had done? Yes. Through what way? By reading the book. So that is called as secondary. Could you all understand? By getting the information from personal records or by knowing the history of the client. Say, for example, if I talk about Ford, if I talk about Mercedes. Now, Mercedes is not a new company, isn't it? But when we talk about the history of Mercedes, you can find it out. Similarly, about Adolf Hitler, yes, better. So I believe, Dheeraj, you are fond of reading autobiographies, and I hope you have read all these. Yes, it is secondary data. But if you're writing it for yourself and if you're collecting information just for yourself, it will become primary. Sakib, if you're writing information for yourself, say, for example, if you're writing your own autobiography, and you're recollecting your information, you are recalling your memory, you are recalling all your past events, and you are collecting it and writing for yourself, then it will be primary. But if your autobiography is read by somebody else, then it will become secondary. I hope everybody could understand what is primary and what is secondary, right? Any of the records that you have on website, on the different web portals, or any information which is there in the form of books. Say, for example, when we talk about marketing management, principles of management, or even related to Python or C, C++, you refer so many books, you refer so many websites, you refer so many web portals, isn't it, to gather the information that is shared by somebody else. So even watching the videos of the other teachers, it is secondary source. All right, you are attending the class right now, and when you watch the video of your class, it becomes a secondary source. The one who are attending right now this particular class, you are getting the information right from the teacher, that is primary. But if you're watching the video that is posted on YouTube and then collecting the information, then it will become secondary. So books, research papers, websites, lot many journals, articles, histories, records of any of the services, these all are part of secondary sources. So once when you have this clarity about primary and secondary, in our next class that is going to be scheduled on Monday, we are going to talk about how the primary sources, or how the data which is there in the primary sources, or how the data which is there in the secondary sources can be converted into qualitative information or quantitative information. All right, dear. So Wikipedia, yes, of course, it is secondary, dear, because Wikipedia says that all the information that is shared by unknown people. Who is sharing the information? Nobody knows. And you cannot check the authenticity, isn't it? Do you know that the information that is shared on Wikipedia may be wrong? So therefore, you should know all these, that yes, these all are secondary, dear. Face-to-face talk, Ismail, it's a part of interview, isn't it? So how can it be secondary, dear? But yes, if you're watching the interview of the great personalities, say, for example, how many of you have watched the different videos of Rajat Sharma conducting interviews? Do you watch the video of Rajat Sharma conducting interview of Amitabh Bachchan or Narendra Modi? Aapki Adalat. Very true. Then it is secondary because it is not you who is conducting the interview, isn't it, dear? If you conduct the interview, it will become face to face, primary. But if you are watching somebody else's video, it's again secondary because it is a resource which is already there, which is already posted. Could you understand, Ismail? When it is primary, dear, when you are conducting interview directly. But if it is conducted by somebody else better, then it would become secondary. I hope everybody could understand the sources, the difference between primary and secondary. Collection of data, it is done in two ways. It could be from primary sources or secondary sources. Quora, if you are answering to the question, if you are a person who answers the question on Quora, it is primary, dear. But if you are reading the answers which are answered by other person, then it is secondary, Abhishek. I hope I cleared your doubt better. Of course, Kapil Sharma show is secondary because you are not Kapil Sharma who is conducting interview, isn't it, Dheeraj? And I really wish instead of Kapil Sharma, if I see Dheeraj Kumar and the name of the show, Dheeraj Kumar show, I would love to watch it then. All right. So thank you very much for attending today's class. Here is the link of your attendance. I want you all to quickly mark your attendance. In next 5 minutes, I'm going to deactivate this particular link. But all the TV channels that you are watching, secondary, all the shows that you're watching secondary because you are not Arnab Goswami, right? If you become a person like Arnab Goswami who conducts interview, of course it is primary. Live classes, again, don't get confused when people say live classes. At one same time, there are not many students who are attending the class. It is primary. Amrita, that is what I said, dear. If you are listening to me, if you are attending my class right now, along with you, there are 36 students who are attending this class. This is primary source. But if you're watching the video of this particular class, it will become secondary. Observing people, primary. If you are observing people, primary. If you're not observing people, and if you're watching through some other sources, all right, then it is secondary. Sakib, observation is observing people, isn't it, better? So where did we learn observation? Did we learn it under the segment primary or secondary? My question is to Muhammad Saqib. When you are observing someone directly, will you call it as primary source or secondary, beta? Quickly in the chat box. I'm waiting for your response. Primary, very good. So I think you have answered your question. If you are collecting information through questionnaire, through interview and observation directly, you are not using other questionnaire, you are not using others interview, you are not using others to observe. If you are doing, if you are sharing interview, if you are taking interview, if you are observing, and if you are sharing the questionnaire, primary. If others are sharing questionnaire, secondary. If others are taking interview, secondary. If others are observing, secondary. When you are participating, that is the reason why the most important word is you. If you are involved, it is primary. If you are not involved, automatically what it is going to become? Secondary. Could you all understand? There can be different modes and mediums, better. As we have said, you can see email is one of the mode, direct interaction is one of the mode, direct participation is one of the mode, videos can be one of the mode, isn't it? You can conduct video interview, right? You can conduct telephonic interview. You can share the questionnaire on emails of the person. Even non-participating is a direct observation. You can be a non-participant, or you are watching the cricket, by you are witnessing the cricket. Say for example, you have bought the purchased the ticket of that particular game, and you went and you watched it. All right, so you are not participating, but still you are observing the game, isn't it here? So again, it's a non-participant and observation. Have you seen the commentators sharing the commentary this time? How many of you have heard the commentators watching each and every ball, each and every minute they were observing each and every ball, and then they went on commenting, right? It's an, again, non-participant, but observation was direct. Hence, it is primary source. Could you all understand better? When you are involved into it 100%, then it becomes primary. But if you're getting information from some other sources, from your friend, from your family, from somebody else, Ismail, when you have watched, of course it is secondary. right? Because you are not the commentator. That's what I said. When it comes to Arnav Goswami, if you're watching somebody else, it is secondary beta. Got that? So I hope everybody got a clarity. In case if you could not understand, think it, ponder onto it, and if you have any doubts, do ask me on Monday. All right. Till then, take care of yourself and have a fantastic weekend. God bless you all. Bye.